can destabilize FURIA a little bit on that one, and then if push comes to shove, if things don't go well on Overpass, they still have that map of Inferno, which they were happy to pick into previously anyway as the decider. So I can only imagine that's a happy veto as far as G2 is concerned. But let's see if FURIA can cause a bit of a ruckus here. We'll start things off on train for the first qualification match here at IEM Chengdu. It is a match that will decide the first team to go through to the playoffs. It will be FURIA and G2.
Sixth time that these two teams have played each other in the last 3 or 4 months. Well and truly familiar at this point. G2 will start things out on the T side and some quick movements in towards halls.
Yeah, very quick movements indeed. Some Pious taking a lot of that space. Yakinda's going to have to take first contact here in Pop Dog, and that has not gone well for him at all. Nice, sharp headshot or two coming through there from Malbs. And G2 draw first blood.
Early on, putting Yakinda in his place. G2 cutting sound, now starting to kick off the execute towards inners. Will be Fallen and Yuri playing at range with the USPs and the P2K. Finally, you do get that molly that pushes Yuri away. G2 slowly working their way into this site, but Malbs now starting to scale forward with the help of the flash. Has Fallen under pressure. Yuri flattened as well. This is going swimmingly for G2.
Yeah, fantastic entries across the board. There's just no answer at all for FURIA. Quesarado is left alone. Doesn't really have a snowball's chance in hell in this round, unfortunately. So just going to have a little bit of a look around, see if he can maybe find a pick here or there, get a little bit of extra cash in the back pocket for the fellas. But yeah, that's a resounding start really from G2. I mean, that's a gauntlet that's been thrown down against FURIA in the pistol.
Yeah, it's good to punish Yakinda early on in Pop there as well. Is a position that, especially if you're going to put a little bit more of a premium on making your way towards inners, the CTs do want to go for some of those quick pinches and flank plays there. Be able to win some of those duels, punish the aggression over there as the T side early on, and you could be off to a good start. Quesarado does hold on to his Kevlar there, and does have 2k in the bank account, so I think he can get himself a FAMAS going into this next round if FURIA do want to force.
I mean, how confident would you be with a force after a round like that?
Depends. Depends if they have a specific idea in mind. Does seem like they want to just take the path of least resistance here. Singular flash purchased on Fallen there. Nothing invested into this round here for FURIA. They're going to trust the gun rounds in round number 3. It's a big stack out on yard. But G2 playing quite hands-off backside of Con. Very much not interested.
Yeah, a big change up in approach there from G2 from pistol to anti-eco, and that makes sense. They kind of want to see what FURIA's got for them, and apparently they've got quite a bit.
Lovely.
With those USBs, a nice flash in there from Fallen, and now Mattis has quite a job to do to try to recover this. He may well go down as well. So all of a sudden, a couple of guns in the back pocket here for FURIA.
$200 investment goes very well for FURIA. 2 picks and 2 Galils picked up here. Quesarado still has armor. They're very far out of position, so I think the retake is just not going to be happening due to not having a kit, not really having any investment in this round. Fallen will go hunting, see if he can maybe take one more gun away, but I mean, as far as FURIA is concerned, bringing 2 Galils into round number 3 this early on in the half is really going to help them min-max the money as we head through the next 12 rounds.
In saying that, though, G2 will be happy with the proceedings so far. Yeah, they lose a couple of guns in that round, but getting underway on the T side of train is not always the easiest of things to do, so just getting the pistol and the anti-eco gives them those extra couple of rounds buffer that can make the difference between, you know, maybe getting 4 and 6 or, you know, 3 and 5. If it becomes a difficult half, you've just got that extra couple of rounds buffer that shores it up a little bit from the outset.
Picked up 2 mollies at the end of the round there on the side of FURIA, which are some of the more expensive pieces of utilities. So they made out like bandits with really nothing but USPs and a well-timed flash from Fallen. But look, if you're going to be putting your money on anyone throwing effective flashes at this point, it's this man. He's been just doing it 4 years. Hands-off approach here early on for G2. Light contest in towards halls. HE nades not really finding their mark early on, and pace from Hunter will secure control of Inner's halls.
He's holding on to that Mac 10 from the previous round, so just having a little bit of a go with it, try and take a bit of space early on in the piece with that extra pace that he's been granted.
Yeah. A few little tickles around the map here for the T side. Clearing out Pop Dog as well, a little bit of pressure on Ivy. They're just kind of denying info to the CT side. FURIA quite happy to play hands off, knowing that they potentially have some range advantage here. holding a little bit of util in towards the mid to late round. G2 now starting to regroup back towards the inners halls, but there's already 3 players set up around this area. So 2 players on inners. You could have a quick rotation in from Fallen as well. Gonna flash Molotov in towards Ivy for a peek. CTs don't see anything there, and you could just see Furia ready for this inners pop that they already saw on the pistol.
Yep. Does seem as though Furia are kind of looking for info on the A side as well. Serato again pushing his way into main, but the real information will come on the B side of the map as Yuri does get his head taken off by Heavy God. Still a lot of pressure out onto Yard as well, as Hunter is essentially solo faking the A side. He's taken a lot of space. This is a crazy move from him. He's got all the way into connector. He's got that Mac 10, and surely Yakinda cannot do anything here. He might get himself one, but no more than that.
Wow. Such a beautifully layered round from G2. Did take control of Inner's Halls, just denying global info on the map from Furia. Hunter's been posted up inside CT Con since day dot. Punishes Molotov for the peak, and HE nades himself maybe closer to an M4. Nice and easy round there for G2. After denying that info, they kick off a little bit of an outers execute, which turns into a flank to inners after taking that inners halls control, and it's just a massive pinch onto Yakinda that he's not really able to deal with. You could see that Furia did try to go for some of that mid-round aggression. You saw the flash play in towards upper ramp, but G2 were ready for it. Heavy God was already posted up. He was anti-flash for quite a while there, and immediately punishes that upper's aggression.
A fantastic start to the map for G2, and you can see the reason why they picked this is starting to unfold. Coach Saw looking very, very relaxed in the back there. He's just having a coffee, having a chill, you know. Doesn't really seem like he needs to be too locked in at all at the moment because everything's going to plan.
I mean, it's only early days here. This is the advancement game. Nobody's going to be eliminated off the back of this one. This is a team that you've played many times at this point. So you're feeling pretty confident in what you're going to be expecting from this series. Progression smoke outside of T-Con. The first time you're going to see a little bit more pace from G2 on outside here.
Well, we'll see. Flashes getting tossed on in now, but Serato with that spam, not going to get anything. Oh. Fallen, who gets 3, one of which comes from the Molotov, and all of a sudden, G2, their hype train is put to a stop. We'll see what some Pius and Hunter have to say about it. We've got one player out of T-Con.
CTs don't have much economy. They need to keep this clean, and Molotov will do exactly that. Sun Pius at least able to take one with him. Orp will hit the deck for now. Furia will need to scramble to recover that one. He's kept it expensive, Sun Pius.
Yep.
But regardless, Furia will secure their first round. Problem is that G2 have got plenty of cash after a pretty clean 3-0 start, so the reset potential on the CT side is something you have to definitely be concerned about.
Yeah, nice work from Fallen, up close and personal, getting that 2-man spray down. The Molotov obviously helping him out as well.
Big
changes
with
that
the
round. Yeah. But doesn't necessarily bail Furia out of trouble just yet. You mentioned, obviously, there's enough money here for G2 to have another crack. They are still in control of this map, particularly if they can pick this round up, and they're going to take a different approach this time around. It's just Malbs working his way out, and same position played by Serato. He's lucky to be alive because Malbs was locked in on that angle for the second attempt.
Oh, flash aggression from both of these teams paying off in spades. They go looking for Heavy God, who has been patient many times on the Inner's Halls. Now Mattis looking to activate out Ivy. Sunpice is posted on the right side. If Serato peeks into this line, he's a dead man. Good patience from G2, being rewarded time and time again. A 2-man advantage as they start to converge on outside.
Yep. What's the answer here for Yuri and Molotov? Maybe for Molotov, it's just hang around and hope that maybe Yuri can get a little bit done with that MP9. If not, save the AWP. Hasn't really had the chance to get involved in this game with the AWP so far. And we're already now 5 rounds into the half.
It's just a great adjustment from G2 there. I mean, they purchased up the AWP in that round and they were a little bit lighter on the util. So just simplifying things down. Flash over the top of Con to activate Mobs. He's able to come up with the goods nice and early on. Reply from Furia with the aggression on Inner's Halls, and as soon as G2 loses that lurker towards that B side of the map, they just opt to up the ante, crunch in through T-Con and Ivy, and it felt like every single kill went their way from there.
Bit of a hunt happening here for G2. See if they can find Molodoi. There's not a lot of time on that bomb.
He was kind of the better of the AWPers in the debut game, I will say. I think Sunpire's not necessarily going huge in the opener against 3D Max. Molodoi had a couple of moments, but that is against Lin Vision. I think the AWPers definitely can define this matchup. Last time they did play each other on Train over at EPL 22, neither one of the AWPers having a particularly great performance for their respective sides. Not that it was necessarily needed when you've got just such strong rifling cores. Majority of the work getting done by, respectively, K Serato, Heavy God, and Mattis, which I think early on, you're seeing Mattis in particular having a couple of big impact rounds, and Malbs is really getting warmed up now.
Yeah, a nice entry from Malbs in that last round. Now Molodoi going to try to get aggressive into Pop Dog with that AWP. Not seeing too much, and wisely for G2, they're not interested. Just going to dump a molly in there to make sure there's no push behind them.
Seeing if they can weigh down any aggression towards the inner halls here, knowing that the CTs will have some pistols to play with. We'll be looking for opportunities, but it's Molodoi who finds his.
Yeah.
The flash play with the jump peak was not clean enough. Now you get your Kindar starting to get activated. AK picked up for free. G2, a round that they wanted to get done cleanly, is falling apart.
Yeah, that's got to be a frustrating round for G2. I think the death to Molodoi, you know, it kind of is what it is. He's going to be somewhere. There's every possibility he hits a shot, and he does in this instance. But Yakinda finding that kill, and then the follow-up as well with the retrieved AK is where that round really starts to fall apart for G2. They don't really feel like they've had a chance to play this round at all, and it's been up against just an AWP. Now it's a double AWP for FURIA. That is a massive upgrade, plus the AK going into the back pocket of Yakinda. It could be a real shift in momentum here if FURIA can capitalize on this gift that has been bestowed upon them by G2.
I mean, it's a 4-1 start for G2. Everything has been going their way, but this is the kind of round that flips this game on its head. Look at the economy of G2 following this round. Molodoi slowly but surely closing in, scoped up on the angle. Wasn't caught off guard a singular time this round. And that's going to be a little bit of a facepalm for a G2 that felt like they were in total control.
Yeah, I mean, big win con, obviously, for FURIA is getting Molodoi involved, especially on this CT side, and that's the first instance of it. Nice couple of kills as well, it has to be said, from Yakinda in that one. Maybe this FURIA engine can start to come online. Double AWP, Fallen, back with the AWP in his hands again.
It's like the good old days. I'm going to see pace from G2 towards the inners halls. Yet again, it's just Yuri solo on over there, going to drop the molly to buy a little bit more time for some potential rotations. G2 in the meanwhile have thrown a lot of utility pressure on outside, but they're going to be storming their way into inners, straight into Yuri, but he delivers so far.
Yeah, Yuri's doing everything at the moment. He's got himself 3 and hanging on for another. That grenade would have done it had it not gone the way of K Serato. Honestly, I don't actually hate that idea from G2. You know that they've got a double AWP. Let's try and hit B site fast, but just has not worked out.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. As you mentioned, with the double AWP, I think the quicker execute into inners is very solid. At least initially, looking at the rotations, it seemed like all of that utility pressure on outside had actually drawn 3 or 4 players from FURIA with their full attention over there. But as you can see in the replays there, Yuri on the off angle finds 2 on those players scaling out uppers, and all of the riflers were already out of CT con and ready to fight inners. So despite the fact that I felt like looking at the radar, FURIA might have been a little bit out of position, the flood was more than quick enough to be able to just slap G2 when they try to set foot on that inner site.
Oh, you reap what you sow, and G2 have now unfortunately got themselves quite a poor harvest. There's no money really for them in this round. Some upgraded pistols here and there, and Heavy God trying to do what he can with the P250 is only going to be good enough for 1. And in such a quick amount of time, we've gone from a really dominated game by G2 to a 4-4 even scoreline with G2 calling a timeout.
It felt like some slower rounds, very measured play from G2 to start off this game with Train on the T side. This was their pick. Everything was going to plan. You were talking about how comfortable Saw was looking. Now he's pacing back and forth a little bit more. He's looking a little bit more nervous. And as you mentioned, in a matter of minutes, we've gone from FURIA being broke with a solo AWP in Molodoi's hands to money everywhere 10 plus K on some of these players. They are not running out of cash anytime soon. Maybe not for the rest of this half. And now G2, what was it? Pretty easy, straightforward T-side where they just need to go from reset round to reset round and keep streaking away with the momentum. Now they're going to be forced to work for anything.
It's crazy. FURIA have done a Stewie 2K. They've taken all of G2's skins.
Oh, bro. Yeah, look, we've also revoked Jacob's Australian citizenship, but that's a story for another time.
Luckily, G2 have got a bit of money in the back pocket here, so they can afford it, it would seem, and they're going to roll on into round number 9 with some weaponry in tow. No AWP for them on this round. Molotoy lined up for another one, but fires a little bit too early.
He's going to have another crack, though. You can see just how tentative G2 are. Pegging flashes right and left, trying to get anything going on Ivy's side, but Molotoy is not dissuaded. Pushed off the line by a nice little peek over on Ivy's side. Now progression smoke. G2 starting to make some moves. Mattis came up huge in this position, but having used those extra flashes early on, they've got no way to break that second angle, and that's just a freebie for Molotoy again.
I mean, what's the option of choice now for G2? Is it just walk down ramp? I don't know that that necessarily works out most days of the week. I mean, look at the crossfire they've got. Yuri and Yakinda say thank you very much. We'll take that one. And some bias unable to deliver the package that he wants to send to that B bomb site. So 5-4 now the score, and FURIA really rising up the ranks on this CT side.
Yeah, Molotoy delivering, having a much better performance than the last game of Train that was played between these two teams. And we were just hearing the discussion in the interview about moving Yuri into some more anchoring roles and things like that. I don't think this map was necessarily the map that they were discussing, but at least it's the Innes anchor here. He has just been infallible.
Quick play interconnector here for G2, but Molotov's going to keep them at bay for now.
Again, G2 just turning their attention back towards Ivy. We're going to need better flash coverage this time around. It doesn't even matter if Molotoy can see or not.
I mean, pistol's only here for G2 as well, so they don't really have the stopping power. Molotoy hitting everything. I mean, everybody hitting everything. It just feels like everything has changed up on the turn of one round. FURIA have gone from not even in this contest to utterly demolishing. Shots connecting with the orbs, shots connecting with the rifles, everything going their way. They're barely losing players.
Everyone performing across the board.
How much money have they got?
Oh, just
tons.
I've never even seen figures that look like that. You know,
but, yeah, that's because you commentate
together
esports
$50
for a living.
for efficient chips in Sydney. But look, G2, let's see if they can turn around the pain train. It's not going to be easy to do. Pacing towards Innes yet again. This time, Yuri looking to contest, creeping up on low ramp.
Yeah, bold play, but the way that FURIA is going at the moment, I don't mind it at all. He's going to catch Heavy God. The flash assist coming through as well. It's all working in unison right now for FURIA.
Another man disadvantage. Somebody's got to make a play, and Hunter, you can tell that he's the one that's itching to do it, but Yakinda on the off angle. Molotoy aggressing into inner. Was there a single player from G2 that was ready to get peaked in this round?
No. Maybe the ones that were got flashed.
Oh, man. Heavy God, full white. Nothing he could really do. Mulbs, he's thinking about that round where he got a nice entry out T-Con. Happier times.
Yeah. Feels like a decade ago.
Oh, man.
Speaking of, Fallen, another nice connection with the orb.
Can't even get back into your spawn. FURIA are giving them nothing.
Bang. Yeah, this is really just, I feel like a lesson in Counter-Strike. You know, it's one of those games that can really turn on a dime. You're never, it's never over until it's over. And it's for reasons like this, it just felt like we've watched two completely different games in the same half.
I mean, it's nice to see a team that's not Australian get ecoed and then, you know, the game immediately slips away. That having watched many years of Australian CS, it is usually the storyline of like, oh man, we're in it. We're doing pretty good. We're so back. Oh my God, we lost to Pistols. Oh, it's over.
Hey, FlyQuest is not even in this tournament. They did not deserve for wrecked. But I tell you what, like, end of the day, if G2 do get to 5, you still go, not too bad of a T half.
5 on T side, win a pistol, we're in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really about momentum right now for FURIA. And the question that is really being asked at this point is how are you breaking that momentum? As G2, can you get just one round towards the end of the half with an MP7 Khalil Deagle by against, only a singular AWP? FURIA feeling like the double AWP has already kind of delivered enough, especially against a lower buy. You could definitely see G2 picking up weapons where they could pick up the pace a little bit more. So I actually like the fact that FURIA's gone away from the double AWP.
Yeah.
Nice little high-low. Inside a pop dog there. Molodoi floating around outside an Ivy. G2 really running the clock down.
Yeah, I wonder what the ultimate goal for them is here. You'd have to imagine it's going to be an A finish. But how do they hope to get into this site without the map control? Well, here comes that push from Fallen that might give them an angle, but just catches Heavy God.
He dinks him, but he's only got an MP7. They've just been bullying him on the lurk time and time again.
Okay, Serrato floating around behind this smoke is going to be a difficult one to dislodge. That molly will change up his position, and the Deagle actually does land its connection. E-Box player dealt with as well. Malbs finding those entries that he was having so much success with earlier on in the half, and a missed shot from Molodoi. I can't believe what I'm seeing. It feels like we've gone back to the first 5 rounds of the game. Malbs doing everything. On plant, though, denied. And so Molodoi has a chance here. He has swindled his way onto the side. He's got Hunter, and now into the 1v1 against Mattis with 13 seconds. All he has to do is watch this cross and make sure it is not successful. 8-4, FURIA dominate the first half on Train. quite a roller coaster of a half there between FURIA and G2 to kick things off on train, and that's probably not the kind of thing you want if you are on a train, because that was really quite up and down there for G2. They started it well, really lacked in the middle and late stages of that half though, and we end up with an 8-4 lead for FURIA on G2's map pick.
Yeah, after a 4-1 start for G2, where it felt like they could do no wrong on the T side, they were in cruise control, working their way through the map. Everything was going to plan. We live in a very different reality now. FURIA starting off their T-side campaign, and it might not need to be a long one if they win this pistol.
Certainly not. Quick flash into the B halls. Heavy God have a little customary glance, but he didn't actually spot the players working their way into Pop Dog. I'm sure G2 will be well aware of the possibility though. A nice setup to get their way quickly into the A side. Here come the smokes, one for Connector, one for Icon as the push comes through for FURIA, and no real contest thus far. Some shots starting to flow back and forth, and Hunter on the site is going to be the critical player that will fall and open up the possibility of a bomb plant if it were not left by E-Box, but it doesn't matter when everyone is dead.
Fallen just so incredibly sharp in this current era. Yeah, after his transition to the rifle, like his mechanically has just impressed so much. Remember him having flashes with the rifle back in the day when he was on the orb here and there, but like it's just kind of crazy that this man's rediscovered a level of form that really just over delivers on what you would really expect from the man. And I think it's a key reason why FURIA has so much depth. T-side pistol picked up here, forced by in reply from G2. Yakinda has crept out in front of the T-con smoke. UMP in hand. In the meantime, you've seen G2 slip into Pop Dog. May not be aware of his position. Quesarado now joining up with Yakinda, and out comes the outer spot execute.
And there's the flash that's trying to set Yakinda up, and it works out quite nicely. Antis will go down. Yakinda going to look for a little bit more with that USP. It's not really done him any favors though, as Malbs is able to double down, but still, the flood of players continues. FURIA still trying to work their way into this A site.
Molodoi 15-6, hungry for more here. In the pole position with the AK, Sun Pius very low on the little pixel line. Does take a chunk out of him.
That's going to be unsettling for Molodoi, but he's still able to continue to push his way forward. The difficulty is now, Molodoi is pretty much 100% committed to this A site because he's tucked in this corner with no HP. He's also the guy that's holding onto the bomb, so there's no real option for FURIA now but to try to clear A.
Yeah. Creep up into Con there from Yakinda. A much needed kill there on Heavy God, which will apply pressure to the side of G2 and potentially threaten a wrap in through Con. Now feeling safe enough to cross to the site and get this plant down from up on high. Yakinda has out-positioned them, and Sun Pius with no HP probably just wants to try to save the scout at this point.
Yeah, it was definitely hanging in the balance for a moment there, but very nicely done by FURIA to get that over the line so comfortably, and no scout save this time around, so 10-4 with a bit of an easier round coming up for FURIA. It's looking like Train's going to be a bit of a non-affair.
Yeah. Have seen a number of one-sided maps between these two teams, some closer. It's usually a 2-0, no matter which way you swing it. I've seen even G2 just kind of run away with some of these series against FURIA and kind of batter them one-sidedly. This time it feels like FURIA's day. They're a team that we've kind of mentioned it a couple of times. They have their eyes set on trying to have a big placement here at an IEM event after winning a couple of smaller titles for themselves. And being that first seed going straight through into the playoffs would be a great way to start their campaign.
Same angle for Yakinda as he gets out very quickly from T-Con. And this time G2 come walking into him to present that opening kill. As I said, a bit of a non-factor of a round coming up here for G2 with just the pistols in hand. Really even any damage really being done here to FURIA.
G2 are just so far behind at this point.
Yeah, it's a massive comeback that's going to be required from them, and it has to start next round. But
I don't know if they're even going to take a gun away here. Like, Heavy God's got a dig, but no one's giving him anything. He's stuck behind that Ivy smoke, and I just don't know, man. It's going to take something special from G2. This was the standout performer the last time that G2 were able to take on FURIA on train and get the dub. Currently 3-11. Make that 3-12. Can't connect a shot with the D to take even one gun out of the hands of FURIA. It feels like since round number 6, they can do no wrong.
Yeah, this has been a dominant display by FURIA thus far. Doesn't feel like that's going to slow down. But of course, gun round out here for G2, so let's see what they can do on their CT side. Unfortunately, they're really not going to get the chance to get rolling on it. It's got to start from the outset. You know, you're coming in cold on the CT side, but you just have to make it happen.
Pace from Molodoi, Sun Pius, the first time he's got the AWP on this CT side, and if he doesn't deliver with it, it could be the last looking at the scoreline, so it's a good opener. Yakinda, Ivy Lurk has been isolated. Now Molodoi wants to get active, but wasn't ready for Molbs on the off angle. G2 starting to pick up the pieces now.
Yeah, a couple of cheeky aim duels being won. That'll be a big difference maker. G2 want to continue to push their advantage. They'll take long control. And even sending Mattis on a bit of an expedition here will more than likely bear fruit as he finds the backs of 2 players in T-Con. So this round working out nicely for G2.
He's run circles around Quesarado there. That exact same flash is what you saw from him in that eco round on the T side. FURIA have even seen him underarm that one before, and it's worked both times. That's a trusty old reliable one. The vibes are weird here, bro. What is going on with this, like, music? Can we change the station?
Yuri's in the break room, man. He's just having a chill.
This is very honky tonk, you know? We're done with Atlanta. This is Chengdu.
Thought you were into that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we got some southern food the other night.
Some American barbecue.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome, good stuff. I mean, Brazilian barbecue seems to be cooking pretty good here. I didn't know we were doing our feet picks on ESL CS, but all right.
Be my guest, mate.
Fair. Save does come through there from Yuri. G2 not feeling bold enough to go for the hunt. It's really only early days. They need every gun that they can get if they're going to put this comeback together.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it had to come together in that gun round, and it did, and that has at least given them the chance to continue to play. But how long is that going to run for? I mean, it had to be sort of 7 rounds in a row. Still kind of has to be 7 rounds in a row. At least to hold on to control of this game. So it's a long, long way. But Sun Pius is definitely putting in that work at Ivy. That's the second opener for him in as many rounds.
Yeah, wins the AWP duel versus Molodoi as well, who was on a bit of a heater up until this point. Says, pipe down, son. We're getting back in the game. Yakinda hanging around here. Thinking about his timing to potentially take a peek as some more pressure coming into outside for FURIA, trying to take some pressure away from Ivy. And look, that's not really had any effect on Sun Pius. It's just the sharp shot, nicely timed peek from Yakinda, and now we're going to get a biff over at Pop.
Uh-oh, this could go wrong for FURIA. See if they can catch the timing. They don't. Yuri gets 1, but luckily, Mattis gets 2. So G2 still walk away happy and walks right into the setup. But at the end of the day, just shoot a little bit better, and that makes a big difference. Mattis caught off this time. Gets info, though, and those players that are already set up on B are happy to stay.
For sure. It's a good setup here to defend this B ending. All posted up on the rotation here for Yakinda, but there's no one to even rotate into position because, as you mentioned, you have seen G2 posted up here for quite a while. Off angle over here from Heavy God, waiting for FURIA to creep up their way through Con. Don't know if he's going to be able to spot them on the rotation. In towards outside. Oh no, Hunter could be a dead man here.
It depends on where he ends up going. If he stays in position until that bomb plant, he will be able to find himself a kill. Has been now spotted out. Fallen will take that fight with glee. He'll take the bomb plant as well. So Heavy God missing the trick there with that cross. He's going to have to get this job done alone. Will be smoked off. And the molly into Pop Dog as well, so just no real easy avenue forward for him. And Quesarado aware that he's in the smoke. Let's lose a couple of shots. No real connections on his behalf. It's Heavy God that comes off better for it, but he has still got that time working against him. Even the nade into the smoke doesn't present anything, and he will give up the round. It seems like time has ticked a little too far away for him to be interested, and that is going to be a bitter pill to swallow, as it will give FURIA 12, and it will give them map point.
On their opponent's map pick as well. Very, very nicely done there from FURIA. Great mid-rounding in the XVX. Finding the gap that needed to be exploited. Wasn't really much that Hunter could do from that particular position, unfortunately. Despite the fact that the round starts off well for Sunpius, Yakinda buying his time to get a messy exchange towards Pop and Inners. And after we boil things down into the 2-on-2 with Fallen alive in the server, just out mid-rounding G2 to put them under the pump, facing up against Map Point, a team that they were able to beat in their last outing. Did squeeze a 13-11 on Train last time around. This has been a very different affair, unfortunately.
No warp this time around for G2, and that's... Oh, no, there is there. Never mind. I was going to say that's been a big point for them in these opening couple of gun rounds on the CT side, so I think it's very important that Sunpius is going to be able to, you know, keep having a crack. I'm interested to see if he will continue to go toward Ivy, or does that become a little bit predictable now that he's found 2 kills over in that part of the map? You know, is he going to change it up? It looks like he's going Ivy again.
It's keeping the setup that has been working. I mean, it really was kind of the XVX that didn't go well. Molbs charging through off the back of a flash or something in towards T-Con, punished by Molodoy. Sunpius, though, continues to deliver. Both of the AWPers cutting down numbers.
Molodoy might have a chance here again onto Mattis, who is jumping up on top of the train. Not keen to swing it in the end.
Molodoy smoked off by Sunpius. And meanwhile, FURIA making some moves towards Inner, but a 2-man aggression on low round. Once again, it is these duels in the mid-round. Heavy God peppered quite heavily, down to 5 HP. Sunpius accordingly going to rotate, try to reinforce the inner side, as will Mattis, but this is anything but a commitment from FURIA. And with 2 mollies thrown over there from FURIA, it really kind of fakes that there's more commitment, more numbers towards Inners than there actually is. Sunpius died to the molly. What? He was full HP, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Heavy God was the low HP player. We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that one. Quesarado gets the trade onto Mattis, and so numbers advantage. And again, it's Heavy God that's stuck in the 1v2, but this one feels even more impossible than the last. He's got no HP. He's got 5 HP to his name, so this is going to have to be a perfect read from Heavy God.
Yeah.
But he is making steps, and that has been heard.
A lot of weight on Heavy God's shoulders, and you're exactly right. Molodoy posted up on the line, and he has not been missing this game. A 13-5 dropping on G2's map pick to start off this advancement series here.
And it really didn't feel like it was going to be the case, right? Like, we watched those first 4 or 5 rounds and we thought, man, G2, they're off to an absolute steamer here. They're going to dominate.
What a great pick of Train. Wow, this team's going well. Look how relaxed Sword looks. It's a little bit of a different look for him walking off the stage.
He's stressed, yeah. Frustrating game, definitely, I think, for Saw, and probably...
Than a passive lurk roll and kind of activate him. Did see FURIA drop him off outside of T-Con, just sitting and waiting, biding his time inside of that smoke before the execute came in, or being able to kind of even up the numbers over towards Ivy's side. But really, enough discussion about FURIA. The onus is on G2 to step up in this series. They started off so well on their map pick of Train. If they want to advance into the playoffs here of IEM Chengdu, then they're going to have to play a little bit better than that.
Indeed they are, as we head on to Overpass. And the last time these 2 teams faced on this map, it was a 16-14 victory for FURIA. So G2 have a lot of answering to do after the questions that were left to them on Train. But they do get to start things off on the CT side here of Overpass, which in theory should be favorable. Pistol round underway, and it's a slow start here from FURIA.
G2 set up around the extremities, set up over here on long Molps to take first contact. Spotted out by FURIA. Flash sailing up over the top and avoided well by Molbs. Despite the fact that multiple were pegged at him, he still delivers the first.
They're going to keep trying to challenge him even, and that'll be where some Pius comes into play. They've now recognized that there is a player at tree, so another flash tossed over the top, and this fight on long has just gone horrifically for FURIA. And taking long-range duels with the USPs, it's not working out.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had a game plan with all of the utility that was brought into this round, a slower default to start things off. I'm sure that they would have had a couple of different ways that they could have prepped a late round site execute, but adapting on the fly to that long pressure, investing all of their flashes to try to create advantages and finding none.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Serato just smoked a smoke to pick up the smoke.
Oh my God, that is so meta. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know we were on that level.
He's got a smoke.
It's only the group stage. Like, we don't need to be pulling that out yet.
He's got that P250 picked up now as well, so they're going to try and contest in toward long, and Yuri does get himself at least one onto Malbs. Not really too much to be said here for FURIA at this stage, but if they can maybe find a way to get a plant in that smoke just on the edge of dice, that might be nice, but not going to happen. Hunter takes off 2 heads, and G2 underway nicely on the second map.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter's equaled his kills from the last map, so that is a good way to start. Every single team that threw a flash in that round was unsuccessful. Even that G2 flash over the top of their garden bed there results in Molbs just instantly getting his head taken off. I mean, 2 quick taps from Hunter. That is a little bit more like it. And G2, a good start, some good recovery, but that doesn't guarantee you anything, especially if you watch the first 5 or 6 rounds of Train.
Yeah, absolutely. So Yuri going to be taking the Deagle into this round. He will be the VIP for FURIA. See if he can do some damage. Just keep G2 honest. That's really the only objective in this round for FURIA.
You almost had Yuri inching his way to take that duel onto Divider. Spots out Molbs. Let's hit him with a little bit of a wing there. But outside of that, it's really quite a hands-off approach. A bit more of a rotation over towards the A side of the map because you've got such deep control of B here for G2. Mattis plants his feet squarely outside of Connector, keeping an eye on the cross towards Monster. Do have that additional player on short as well, just watching Con. Heavy God ready for the rotation if that ends up being a factor for FURIA. We're kind of meandering around bathrooms right now, not quite decided on where they want to be ending here.
Just trying to burn as much time as possible to see if they can take anything away from G2 here. Even if it is a piece of utility here and there, it's still something that will be forced to reinvest in the next round, and now they've got Heavy God sort of stuck here in short water, but he's got backup. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a concern for G2, and 2-0 the score with no loss for G2.
Nice cleanup. Good start, which will be much needed for G2 to try to turn around their fortunes on FURIA's map pick. See what FURIA's go-to is going to be in the first gun round here. Has already been a map that, as you mentioned, went the distance. Good old CSGO scoreline, 16-14 from back in the day. Did play a full 30 rounds. No MR12 shenanigans last time these teams did play.
That's real Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Back in my day. Quick pacing into Con here. Fallen making moves early on. Let's take a lot of space. You see Kindar on the front foot towards Party as well. It seems like FURIA wanting to take some space over towards bathrooms nice and early on. Sun Pius is hanging around over there. And Molbs, all on his lonesome, having a tranquil little stroll in the park all by himself.
Quite peaceful up on that part of the map, typically. Maybe Yakinda will give him some trouble.
Can tell he's feeling confident. This is just self-sufficiently taking some duels early on, waiting for a mistake. Fallen spotting out that player on bathrooms. They well and truly know what the setup is from G2 at this point. And with all of that A pressure, they're going to know that some rotations will be coming on through as well. In the mid-round last time around, you did see G2 take control of short B. This time they haven't, and Yuri is kind of posted up, waiting for that aggression in the middle of the map while FURIA take long.
Well, once again, putting that priority on long. Yakinda's going to have multiple members here to deal with, and turns away at an awkward time. Flash just didn't quite catch Malbs. Now another one through is seemingly going to blind everybody. It's Molodoi that recovers from it quickest. Mattis to go down, but they are not aware. There's another player there. The train needs to come through, and it does. But on Speedway, there's another kill coming through as well. It's messy across the board. All these skirmishes. There's one more player up on A. His name is Hunter, and that grenade isn't quite going to get the job done. He falls, and that will secure a bomb plant at least for FURIA. It's been a chaotic round, but they do get the bomb plant down in the 2-on-1.
Yeah. 1-on-2 with the P shooter for Heavy God. Will have wanted some better weaponry to work with. HE nade doesn't quite hit the mark. Bouncing off the backboard for now, but it's a hard crossfire between FURIA. Queserado biding his time, waiting for Molodoi's contact. Heavy God gonna try to hit him with the drive-by, but doesn't connect on anything. FURIA take the first gun round here.
Yep. Early inroads. Like I said, very, very messy round. Skirmishes all over the map. Awkward timing. Yeah, that flash, it just flew over the head of Malb. So yeah, that's where it kind of started to get a bit difficult, let's say, for FURIA. But they recover it nicely. Pretty comfortable win in that 2-on-1. And starting to chip away at the economy of G2, who are down to their last buy for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, only 2 players surviving for FURIA as well, so same can be said for them. Swing round into round number 4 here as the first gun round does get a little bit tight. Mobs again, no utility. Wanting to play things on the front foot. Flash sails up over the top, and the crosshair placement is superb. Surgical precision from the MD himself. Queserado inside of short though, punishing that aggression. That's something that I was talking about on the anti-eco. You've seen G2 after A pressure aggress into short, and Queserado this time was ready to punish. So we'll see if G2 do try to organize themselves a little bit better than just Mattis kind of dry walking his way out there.
Another round, by the way, where they're really putting a premium on long. Again, looking to really work this part of the map, which I don't think is quite as traditional necessarily. You know, you typically will see a lot more play around connector, around short water, around monster. But FURIA bringing a different approach.
They're going to be aware that Queserado may be lurking on around here. It's really just a game of timing, and Heavy God a little bit too heavy-handed there, unfortunately. Man advantage for FURIA, and again, G2 making moves into short have been punished. Some util pressure on the A side of the map, trying to pull the rotation away, and it's a full commitment back towards B. But Hunter, all the way through the monster tunnel, is causing some problems here. That's the bomb dropped.
That's a big problem, but it might not really eventuate if Queserado keeps on going on a tear. That bomb will be retrievable. Yuri finding the trade for Molodoi. And again, we find ourselves with a 2-on-1, you know, less than 10 seconds on the timer as the bomb plant's going to go down.
Sunpire's going to have to burn pretty bright here to win this 1-on-2. Would be a reset round on FURIA and a big impact play. No kit to work with.
Oh, he's going to have to make noise one way or another. See if he can find a kill.
Nice.
Gets Queserado. Trouble is, time's ticking away from him, and he does not have a kit. He's also fallen down, and that is going to cost him some crucial seconds. Yuri, well aware of it. He hears all those footsteps. He knows he's not on the defuse. He knows that he has won the round at this point. So some players, well, he could have got that final kill. It wouldn't have mattered. Another round on the board here for FURIA, which, yes, again, it goes down to one player, but when you're on the T side, you can kind of sustain that, particularly with the fact that G2 is now going to be broke.
I mean, you see that nice opener from Malbs instantly getting turned around from Queserado. Aggression on that B side of the map, heavily punished by FURIA, and in such a tight round like this, multiple players just losing their lives in that part of the map, kind of untraded, self-sufficiently looking for duels and timings and information. It's really what allows FURIA to leverage a round win that breaks the money here of G2. They're considering a force buy, knowing that FURIA are also quite broke. Both of these gun rounds so tight, just coming down to close XVXs. I think G2 at this point, they've had every opening, especially Malbs. He's had 3 opening kills already in only 4 rounds. G2 are starting these rounds so well, but in the mid-round, FURIA is outmaneuvering them a little.
Going to be a forced buy from G2, so they're not ready to let the control of this half slip just yet. Going to keep trying to fight for it.
Not the buy that you'd want to be trying to reset FURIA with and recover on your CT side. Some movements in the middle of the map here from FURIA. Serato continues to deliver on this B side of the map. He is infallible. Oh, this is falling apart for G2 after a nice start again.
Yeah, much the same fashion as what we saw on Train, where G2 got off to a good start there. I mean, maybe not quite as clean of a start here on Overpass, but certainly had their noses in front for a moment. And once push comes to shove and we start to really get a little bit more into the regulation rounds, seems like FURIA, today at least, keeping themselves in the winner's circle. Still progressing through long.
Yeah, Hunter has recovered his performance coming into this map thus far. This is maybe a little bit of a bridge too far. He's just got a duel with another player with an SMG. Still can't win it, though. Mattis never even really got an opportunity to get involved here.
This will be a really nice recovery round as well for FURIA. 2 kills on the UMP, plus it looks like it'll probably be 5 guns alive. Money's going to start to build back up.
I wouldn't mind an M4 if it's on offer. Unfortunately, it's not. Yuri taking everything away from G2. It's going to have to be a full save. And with 5 players surviving, any thoughts, any opportunities, any reset window that G2 wanted to take advantage of is very much gone by the wayside at this point. Again, similar to that half-buy round that they suffered over there on Train, this is FURIA seizing full control of this game. Their economy is going to bloom after what should be a pretty clean anti-eco. From there, it's just G2 trying to scrape whatever they can together in this first half.
Good play into connector this time around from FURIA. Not something that we've seen really from them too much. Kinda is having a look on long, and he will claim another kill onto Heavy God. Does get overwhelmed, but luckily you got Moldoy there as the insurance fund, and he pays out nicely with a 3k. Easy round for FURIA. Up 4-2 now, and it's looking like it's getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah, they're in flow state. Did lose the UMP, so that'll give an opportunity to just pull the AWP out of Moldoy to change things up a little bit if they do want to go for that. Finally going to get a chance for G2 to get the AWP going for themselves. Sun Pius has been lying in wait. Delivered every single time he had it on the CT side on Train. He's been good for these opening kills. And again, as I mentioned before, Mulbs has been great for these opening kills as well for G2. It's really just a question of conversion once we head into the mid to late round.
Bit more of a reserved approach from G2. Still looking to try and hold on to connector with the AWP.
What? Jumping wallbang through short B. I mean, look, that's very fortunately been turned around pretty quickly by a couple of kills from G2, but a pretty BS way to start this round.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can.
I'd love to see a replay
later.
of that. Look where Hunter died. He was jump spotting on short B, and he's been jumping M4 killed by someone in connector. I have to see that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you say it's turned around, but we're back into a 3-on-3, and Sampaius is quite low on this A site, so if he misses a shot, he's going to be a dead man. Luckily, he'll connect onto Yakinda.
Necessary. Lining him up for a second. Boots on the ground inside a bank.
We like
Closes
that.
up the door. Not handing out any home loans today, even for Mr. Moneybag Shampoo commercial himself.
Well, okay, Serato a little bit slow on map 1. Let's see if he can do anything here. Answer is no. So G2 respond back in kind. Get themselves a third.
I mean, some Pies has been money on the AWP on this CT side. A 4K as soon as he finds his hands on it.
It's good on
It's
Train.
almost criminal that like G2 haven't been able to start these hards cleanly enough to actually get him. What is that, man? Honestly, it looked like a solid flick. Like, that's exactly where he should have put his crosshair, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's just got scared and bumped his spacebar or his scroll wheel or whatever he uses to jump. It's like a jump scare.
I mean, he's definitely hit A button there.
In every sense of the word. Either way, a little bit of a response there from G2, but still going to need to put a bit more together to start to convince us on this CT side.
Is this short aggression a little bit more cohesive with multiple players committed on into it? Sun Pius, you can tell he's really feeling himself at this point. Door blown open, smoke to follow, opportunity not quite converted.
Fallen takes the opportunity with that smoke to progress a little deeper into connector, and again, it is the fight up long that's going to be the key factor, but Malbs is just doing so much work again for G2.
He's dominating them self-sufficiently. There's no support behind these plays. This is just Malbs on off angles saying, come at me, bro.
Yeah, Molodoi was completely bamboozled, didn't even see him, and Yakinda unable to find the trade. This round is going to fall apart unless Quesarado maybe does something here. Oh, he will. A huge double. Make it a triple. Quesarado says, thank you very much. I'll take the B-bomb site.
11-4. Anything that Malbs can do, Quesarado can do better. Hunting down the hunter himself. Looking for the ace.
Oh, that's just
and
criminal.
G2 have had enough. They say, please, no more.
Yeah, that's illegal. It's such a nice start for G2, and then it's like, nah.
Legit, every round has been like that, you know? It's like, Malbs, how many opening kills can this man fight? He's 4-0 in opening duels, 3 multi-kills. He couldn't possibly be starting these rounds any better for G2. Sun Pius is delivering with the AWP. But every time FURIA just finds the right timing, it's like, okay, I can take a punch, but I'm going to get up and find the right angle to immediately come in for the counter.
5-3. T-side start here for FURIA as well. So packing on the numbers on the more difficult half.
It's got to put G2 under the press here.
What a raw adjustment onto the pillar player, by the way.
Yeah. Great transfer. Ready for the player in water to try to come in for the trade as well. That man really can do no wrong. Was the highest rated player in their recent win over at Thunderpeak. For a reason, although it is just an incredibly well-rounded FURIA that really makes them so dangerous. Yes, there is star player on Quesarado on full display in that round in particular, but I feel like every single player on this team can put together something similar.
100%. I mean, they're all in great form on an individual basis. I mean, yeah, okay, Fallen 0 and 5 here, but he had a fantastic map 1.
All right, it's conversion time.
Has to
I
be.
mean, it's just another day that ends in Y, and Sun Pius has found an AWP kill. And now we head into the mid-round. It's time to get it done, G2. He doesn't even feel confident that he's got enough done here. He needs more. He said one AWP kill is not enough. We've had Malbs with a multi-frag and still found a way to lose the round.
Yeah, he puts himself in a dangerous position, though. There's a chance he gets taken down here and gives that advantage back up.
FURIA making some moves towards long here. Yuri's still hanging around in connector, waiting for that short B aggression. G2 have well and truly learned their lesson.
Seen this boost a number of times. Although it's Quesarado this time up on it instead of Yakinda. FURIA definitely have a game plan that is centered around long in some capacity.
Will be smoked off and blocked for the time being. Malb's going to play close up on the site. Sumpire still peering down Divider, waiting for Yuri to make a mistake. All of that utility has been used by Hunter on the rotation, so he's not going to be able to bring that over to the A site.
They can't rotate off. They can't go B anymore. The bomb is well and truly committed to A. Molotov into the corner. Will fizzle. Actually, it landed in the smoke, but he still peeks. Fallen gets the entry. It doesn't matter. They're going to give the round up.
What is going on? FURIA, I think that's the first time that you've seen a bit of an egregious T-side round from them. They just took too long to get organized. I can't really explain that one. That's a bit of a lifeline for G2. You know, FURIA, they've usually been so decisive after losing the opening kill. They're going to take a timeout. The coach is not happy with that. No one's really having a chat here.
Yeah, I think it's a reset timeout there.
Yeah, I can't explain that one. I couldn't tell you what happened to FURIA just there.
Maybe things just got a little bit muddled. Kind of happens.
Can't let that be the catalyst, though, that starts to let G2 back in the game, at least economically, will buy them
Right.
a little bit more purchasing power, and you can see the effect that that's had on FURIA's economy. They've effectively just allowed a full round of loss bonus to go by the wayside. Again, you can see that G2 are having no issues finding the openers.
I mean,
Do still need to see some conversion from them. I mean, FURIA not interacting with the round doesn't count for me.
Sure. You're not calling that a win for G2, you're calling that a loss for FURIA.
100%.
Malbs going to try and do it himself again. And up into Fountain. He gets the better of Molodoi.
Yeah. Subpire's made it pretty easy for him. Already put a bullet through Molodoi's leg on the jump spot there. Over from Party. Only needed to connect the singular bullet. Another opening kill for G2. What are we up to now, man? 5, 6. They're 7-2 in these openers. It's only been Quesarado and Yuri to deliver any for Furia so far in this game.
Yeah, up 7-2 on opening duels, but down 5-4 on rounds is not a great conversion rate.
I mean, when Quesarado walks into the B side and decides that he owns the place, there's not much you can do about it.
Here's another aggressive move from Malbs. Very confidently, but this time Quesarado is waiting for him. It seems like Quesarado is a massive thorn in the side for G2 at the moment.
Oh, no. I mean, Sun Pius usually reliable. Another opening round where things are falling apart for G2.
Hang on. Oh, okay. The stopping power enough for that AK to get the wallbang through on a heavy guard. The bomb plant somewhat denied here by Hunter. Okay. He finds himself a double.
Oh, very winnable. Bomb is lost in no man's land. I mean, you could see from the kills that Furia was spread out all over the place. Only 2 players were actually committed to that A site. Yuri very low. Yeah. He's going to buy time for Quesarado to try to join up with him for the trade.
This could still go very wrong, actually, for Furia. It's a big round for Hunter if he can find a way to win it. And Yuri's going to be the bait, and Quesarado is supposed to be the man to finish the job. 6 seconds left. He's got to find Hunter, and he does. It was so close. A good effort from Hunter. But the team captain is unable to display a captain's knock there, and it's just another round for Furia in the end.
It is. Another round after an opener. Another round where Quesarado immediately finds a way to open the round back up after conceding that first kill to G2. Opens up the round again and closes it down. Really is just commanding respect in the server. Furia very much in control now. G2 starting to run out of money. Staring down what could be a reset round into round number 12 is not something that they can abide by. Molbs has been confident, has wanted to take these openers early on in the round. HE Nade blowing open the smoke towards Con. Very much is G2 looking for an opportunity here.
This is a very ballsy hold, and Quesarado, he might have just been a little bit distracted by the noise of the drop, that he hasn't quite cotton on quick enough that Matisse was up there.
Another opener. Surely you can't lose this round. 3-on-5 for Furia.
Don't even say it, bro. Don't even say it.
I mean, Yakinda, he's looking thirsty. Oh. He's looking mighty parched right now.
Nothing giving, though, for Yakinda. But a bit of space taken toward the A site. Molodoi waiting for somebody to make a mistake, walk into his crosshair.
I've seen that jump spot a couple of times. I mean, even if they do deal with Molbs, he's just kind of a non-factor on the scout here on low HP here. You should still be able to clean this one up as G2, right?
It's going to have to be a hard clear on the left side from Molodoi if he does want to get this opening pick. Malbs needs to be careful that he does not show that booty around the corner.
Not quite thick enough. Hasn't been hitting the spots as hard as you.
Is Molodoi going to check this onto Sun Pius, though? That's the real question. No is the answer, and that might be where the round falls apart. Had he found that kill, it could have been a big one, but not going to happen. So G2 secure themselves a 5th.
I mean, it's good to see them just stick their heels into the side after finding a 2-man advantage there. Like, there's been a couple of times where I felt like even with numbers, you've seen aggression from G2 into short punished or movements into con, maybe trying to like overdo it a little bit, even after finding the numbers, which may just be a confidence thing. But that's a much more convincing close to that round. And look, I was scared about G2's reset potential. It's actually Furia who are looking like more bust than boom here. Down to a couple of Tech 9s, really not much to be working with in this round. It's a little bit more pacing towards Connector again. Molbs, how many openers can you find? Not this time, but does definitely weaken Yakinda going forward here.
Yuri's found a little bit of space, and he'll be aware that Malbs is sort of roaming around bathrooms long. He's going to go hunting for him, and he will catch him as well. So that's an upgrade. M4 into the hand of Yuri.
You immediately see the rotation straight away from G2. Sunpius knowing that he has to stand and deliver, and there is still some utility pressure over on him, but there's no information on this A side of the map, and as a result, G2 were trying to find something in short B, trying to isolate a lurker that was hanging around, but the majority of these FURIA players are creeping out Monster.
I like this. Quesarado has to be aware of the tight line. Heavy God not going to be affected by that flash at all. We'll actually bring it back to a 4-on-4. Yakinda unable to strike on short. Trade is in though, courtesy of Yuri, and now Molodoi doing the same at Monster. 3-on-2. Furia working their way into the site to get themselves a plan, but it will be at the cost of Yuri's life, and Sunpius wants to keep on going. Gets aggressive with that orb. Lands a connection onto Fallen. It leaves Molodoi alone. And they are well aware of his position. He's been stomping around. Here's those footsteps as well. Sets himself up. Tech9 needs the headshot onto Hunter, who has no idea which side he's going to peek from. Left, right, good night, potentially. And Molodoi can't get it done. It will be 6 for G2. They have to work very hard in that first half to get to 6, and that's on the CT side. So it doesn't scream fantastic stuff, but at least it's something for G2 heading into the second.
Never meant to stay. It was you that put me in. Promised me that we'd be okay. All of your lies I was believing. You were there most of the time, but that was never good enough for me. Had me going out of my mind, had me going round like crazy. But I gotta end this way. Why is there always a struggle for you to let me go? You got me like crazy, like you were always right and I was always wrong. Crazy, baby, where did our love go? Crazy, like you were always right and I was always wrong. Crazy, where did our love go? You would always bring my fall. You were meant to be here forever. Remember when we used to have it all? We were so good together. Why can't we both feel the same way? Why do I need to explain? You were there most of the time, but that was never good enough for me. Had me going out of my mind, had me going round like crazy. But I gotta end this way. Why is there always a struggle for you to let me go? You got me like crazy, like you were always right and I was always wrong. Crazy.
6 apiece is the scoreline here on Overpass Map 2 between Furia and G2. It's neither here nor there, but when you take into account the bias of the map, I'd say Furia are feeling pretty good about going onto the CT side.
I would agree with that. G2 dominating the openers, but having a tough time converting a lot of these rounds. See if they can be as successful on the offensive side as they were in the early portions of some of them. Big movements over towards the playground. Over into A long. Has a pistol that you have seen many, many times after no real contact over towards B. You're starting to see FURIA scrambling back to A into position to beat this timing. Yakinda hanging around in the middle of the map. Picks his timing well. Could potentially have some impact here, but it does seem like G2 are going to clear him out. Mulbs, another opener. 7-1 in opening duels here on Overpass.
Not every single one of those has been turned into a round, though, and that'll be something that's weighing on the minds of G2 at the moment. They have another 4-on-5. FURIA have sent Fallen on an info-gathering mission deep into the bathrooms. He's not seen anybody. Now, bearing in mind, he is the player with the kit, so if he does go down here, that will be a little bit awkward for FURIA's chances of winning the round, but
I mean,
if he picks his timing nicely, he can get in behind G2.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Starting to slink his way down corners. G2 prep this B site hit.
Yeah, they seem pretty aware that this is going to be a B play. So Quesarado looking to stand and deliver. Can't see anything through the flash. Needs a bit of help. Gets it from Yuri, who will be deleted himself as well. And despite a fast flank, this doesn't look like it's going to be too effective. Fallen's position given away with no kill. Molodoi fighting for his life on the site. It just hasn't quite come together for FURIA. They needed that B defense to be a little bit more solid than what it was. And pistol round will go the way of G2, so they start to put something together on the T side of Overpass as well.
And they're scrapping their way back into this game of Overpass.
Scrapping is a good way to put it.
In 5 outings between these two teams over the last couple of months, could we see a third map for the first time ever? If G2 keep on this train, on this T side of Overpass, definitely could be the case. Did slip up against some of the weaker buys over on train though, so we need to make sure that they're putting this force buy away pretty cleanly if possible.
Double nade is out for FURIA at the moment. This one ineffective.
Just clearing out con. Going through the motions and the routines, running down the checklist for G2 early on here. Just Yakinda looking to hold things down over on Divider. Saw him have a big impact kill with the 5-7, and FURIA tend to kind of run away with it after that on train. So, you know, he's very comfortable at these kind of ranges with this weapon. I mean, he's up close and personal, both figuratively and literally. The man is basically smelling the pixels, as you can see in the player cam there.
Hope they smell all right.
Yeah.
No loss for FURIA just yet. Time ticking away, a bunch of upgraded pistols. Still a world where this goes wrong for G2, but less likely that that's going to be the case if they decide to go A. There's only the one defender there, that's Yakinda. 4 players stacked down toward B. Yakinda's not spotted any information that would prompt a rotate just yet. Now coming through as that util starts to get tossed in by G2. There is going to be a defense on this A bomb site. Nade blows open the smoke. They do spot the player out of truck, but no connection still. Opening kill the way of Yakinda. Remember how that round on train turned. It was off the back of the 5-7s. And Molodoi with the deagle also able to strike. There's 14 seconds left. G2 are scrambling for a bomb plant now. They still haven't cleared the site, and Quesarado doubles down. 6 seconds. He just has to live.
He's got it though. Oh, I don't know actually if he has. Oh, not quite. FURIA just sowing enough seeds of deceit inside of the site to secure it on the force way, and G2 have got to be kicking themselves at this point. It's just masterful play from Yakinda, buying time from the site box, drops that smoke just to block, just to buy enough time for this flash to sail up over the top from Yuri, and the rest of FURIA to flood on in before G2 can even get themselves into an after plant. How do you pick yourselves back up after that one?
Well, they're going to have to do a better job of it than what they did on train, because it was in similar circumstances where train just got away from them. They lost to a pistol round, really.
Yeah, but this one is still very much hanging in the balance. That was early days, breaking down that momentum. Time for some more resilience from G2. They've already handed Yuri a free haircut. He's looking pretty fresh in the player photo there already, so I'm not really sure how much better you can go from there.
I don't think he wanted the haircut.
Nah.
It's going to slow down. But at the moment, Yakinda is on the move.
He is. Deep inside of the playground. We'll clear out pipes. The rest of G2 kind of split in two minds. Thinking about a little bit of an execute and some pressure over towards this A side. But as we can see, the monster push is imminent. Short B cleared out by FURIA. Digging their heels into this B site and clearing out a lot of information. But Quesarado still posted up. Oh no, that could be the timing that G2 was waiting for, but it's the fadeaway from Fallen. Now you're seeing Mobs all alone with the bomb outside a monster. Only 30 seconds on the clock, and G2 looking very disjointed. Mobs delivering though.
Yeah, but they will see the bomb. 20 seconds left. He's on his way into short water. Yakinda, if he finds a kill or two here, it could be the round. It's not quite.
Look at FURIA, they're just scrambling back and forth in spawn. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they seem to be completely bamboozled. Molodoy here, 10 seconds on the clock. He's got the AWP in hand. Mattis will go down. Bomb
6
carrier,
seconds.
if he is picked up, that will be the difference maker. He wants to deny the plant, but he can't get there in time. G2, a really messy round, but unless Quesarado pulls something off here, it should be theirs, and it is. 8-7, that was chaos.
Mobs under immense pressure outside a monster. There has to have been sweating bullets. G2 very disjointed, trying to push and pull FURIA around the map, which is exactly what they did. If Mobs doesn't connect that Deke headshot, that's the bomb dropped outside a monster and the round's over. I cannot believe that they found the passage of play to win a round where one player with the bomb was in monster tunnel on the CT side of the map, and you had one player over it long, and they still found a way to put that together for a round win. Unbelievable scenes from G2.
Not over yet. G2 still have some recovering to do with regard to their own economy, and that will hopefully happen in this round, but there's been an investment again from FURIA in the upgraded pistols.
Oh, Molodoy's posted up. He's waiting to see if he can spot the head. Sun Pius starts things off well. There's the jump up off the back of the flash. Maybe a little early, but still a good start for G2 nonetheless. Need to make sure they convert this. They don't need to rush things here at all. Still a minute 10 on the clock.
Looks like they're heading in the direction of the stacked site. Fallen here in the monster tunnel will be a real problem if they go through the smoke.
I mean, G2 are taking their time with it, though. They very much are waiting out some of this aggression, giving FURIA enough rope to hang themselves with.
FURIA just have to hold strong. If they keep these three players on the B side, anything can happen. Obviously, they're going to want some info. Smoke in. Fallen's position given away that he is close, but he's managed to change it up a little bit. That 5-7 can't strike what it needs. Molodoy only good for one. G2 will avoid the iceberg.
And swerved around it nicely, and I think it's going to be smooth sailing from here. That was the round that really will tip things heavily in their favor on this T side. It's really felt touch and go for them today. A confident start on train that got dismantled into a landslide victory for FURIA. In this game, really, it's just felt like it's been hanging in the balance, despite the fact that G2 have started so many of these rounds so cleanly. It hasn't ever felt like they have been commanding this game and front-running it. Finally now, not only will they go up 9-7, but they'll break the CT money here after the 4 spies go back and forth in the first 3 or 4. Kindar ever dangerous with the 5-7. Candy Appleskin looking crisp as ever. 2 more guns taken away. AK not quite picked up, and Sun Pius can't chase him down either. That's gotten very expensive for G2.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it just adds a bit of extra cash in the back pocket of FURIA as well on that CT side. Those 3 kills of Golden plus the AK. Every little bit counts with how close this matchup is at the moment. FURIA are going to force together a little bit more than just the AK. They've decided to go for an M4 in the hands of Quesarado. They're giving themselves a bit to play with here, but it's a spotty buy. Faster play from G2 by the looks of things, straight through the monster tunnel. That is going to be the end of Fallen, nice and easy. And the defense is still scrambling, but Yuri comes up with the goods with the USP. We still need to see what Quesarado with this M4 can conjure. He gets himself one, no more than that. Crisis averted, it would seem, for G2. But a retrieved Galil, a real thorn in their side as Yuri just looks to anchor in on that side. Sampaya still fighting forward, and that gives time for Yakinda with this fast flank in the monster tunnel.
You could tell Mattis is feeling suspicious. Sunpius also posted up on Monster. Reason for suspicion that surely if he was rotating through that CT side of the map, he would have already been on the site with not much to play with there. So the flank was incredibly sus, and G2 was switched onto it. Oh, that really got touch and go there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you could see...
You look at Quesarado waiting in the wings there. I'm surprised he wasn't a little bit more active there.
Yeah.
I mean, the USPs were doing so much damage. I felt like if the M4 was on the line, maybe something could have happened, but instead it was a bit more of a bait setup, I guess.
I think it's one of those situations, though, where like all of the CT players kind of get forced back into that water position by the util, you know, the flashes. Where do you naturally go when you get flashed on that B site? You sort of duck back down below the site itself. And so everyone was kind of just congregated in that one position. When you see three CTs stuck there, you kind of know that you're not going to be able to hold on to the side at that point. I think that where this round actually turns on its head there is that kill onto Yuri. You could see he was trying to bunker down, slow down that play. He mollies behind the smoke so that he can't get pushed from that side, but not able to survive long enough for Yakinda to really come into play. Had he been up for another couple of seconds, it might have been a different round.
I mean, Heavy God might be on the entry here, and he's copped a knife to the back, which is not how you'd want to start a round like this, but he's going to brim with confidence nonetheless. Give this man a handicap and he'll still deliver. Sunpius to follow up as well. G2 are very much hitting their stride now.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting closer and closer to hitting a map 3. The way things are going at the moment, Furia have just fallen off in this second half. And G2 finally displaying what we were hoping to see on map 1.
He's ready for the boost play as well. This man can't be faulted. Oh, and Molodoy trying to conjure whatever they could possibly do in a round like this. Underarm smoke from Fallen. He's just kind of been a non-factor in this game. I was singing his praises, especially after that round over towards T-Con on train, where he really just shuts things down by himself. But it was like the old man has fallen asleep a little bit. Sometimes it do be a bit like that. You're 30 plus. I'm pushing it. One more year for me. I've only got 5 months left, and then take me out the back. I'm done.
I can barely get through the day without a nap these days. So
you took on this morning. You literally, our call time was on the hour. He was in bed until 57.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you got to get that sleep in. It's good for you.
I might have to have one, because it's looking like for the first time we're going to head to a third map between these two teams. That's going to be some uncharted territory.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over just yet. Let's see if maybe Molodoy holding on to this AWP can get up to something in the next round. I mean, it hasn't really felt like it's been a big factor for Furia, this CT AWP.
I mean, he didn't have a chance to get involved in the round when G2's just sending it straight down B. Finding opening kills in the middle of the map. Like, you're just forcing the AWP into a retake. I mean, they're not even the ones forcing the AWP into a retake. This is all just Heavy God looking for that short B control. That's exactly what that play is designed to do. More so, they're trying to set up Sunpius on that AWP line towards water. It's a pretty classic play on the T side of Overpass nowadays. I've seen it for many a moons at this point. And when G2 are given all of those peaks, all of those opportunities by Furia trying to set up in the middle of the map by that player on the B side, things just get easier for them when they're fed those picks.
Molodoy down towards B this round. That's not where G2 are headed immediately.
I mean, Mobs has just delivered in the early round every single time. Only goes 1 for 1 this time around. Fallen can't get his hands on an AK though, unfortunately.
Kill's a kill though. You'll take it in the circumstances for Furia. It's also given Molodoy the confidence to push a little bit further into short water.
I mean, I think that's exactly what you want to do on these kind of rounds. You want to muddy the waters with the pistols, push the round into a weird state where the T-side team speeds up their decision making, and if they speed it up in the wrong part of the map into the AWP, kind of maneuver things a little bit too hastily, then that's where you can definitely punish, especially when you're a player in the form of Molodoy. I've seen him touted by many in some of the break content as Rookie of the Year contender. But as mentioned, I think in the interview, you need to close out these last couple of tournaments of the year very nicely for himself.
Yeah, I mean, we've also got to talk about controls, you know, like I feel like no bias.
Controls, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he is one of the greatest teams at bashing noobs online in Asia CS. And I did not think he would do that against Tier 1 opposition, but I was wrong. I'm just a hater.
G2.
I didn't know that, 28-year-old talent was a word, because I'm 29 and I can't frag like that.
Maybe you can run it back.
There's no way.
This is
I was washed when I was a teen.
fair enough.
I've been thoroughly clean for many years at this point.
Again, nothing from Molodoi in this round. He tried, he was seeing all of that aggression towards the B bomb site. In the previous few rounds, he said, I'll put myself on short here. See if I can get involved early, but G2 have navigated that one quite nicely, and they'll be up to 12.
That's the AK that Fallen would have loved to grab earlier on in the round, and then we could have been cooking with gas. That point for G2. Push us through to a third. Great resilience from G2, it has to be said, after how that first map went. It was a landslide, all of the momentum with FURIA. There were many points in this game where, okay, Yuri's got the AK at the end of things. It's been calmed over. Was an early pick found, so that's a little bit of a boon for FURIA. They'll need it. They're going to need 5 in a row here to push us through to OT. But I think for G2, it's just great resilience being shown. You love to see it. It's not like they haven't had their opportunities in this game. They've had so many opening kills, but the way some of those rounds went, especially after how Train went, like if I'm getting flattened by K Serato on that B site, there's a lot of teams that would crumble, and the game would just be done from there. So credit to them, very much stepping up on this game of Overpass, which, look, being the pick of FURIA, only was one in OT last time around. Yakinda. Molbs, you just can't beat him. You honestly cannot beat him in this game in the openers. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't know what the count is. He's taken 10. What's he at now? He was 8-1 going into this round, so he is 9-1. He's 9 from 10 in opening duels this game. That's just, it's ungodly.
Has been a real problem for FURIA. No two ways about it. Okay, Serato has been pretty good on the response, though. I mean, a lot of the time you'll see Malbs get the opening pick and then K Serato responding kind. Now Molodoi getting a little bit going here for FURIA as well. It'll be a long road ahead for FURIA if they want to find a way to win this map, but they are not giving up just yet.
I did mention that in the interview that Fallen is the man to move over to the anchor role on Monster here for FURIA, and look, maybe that's not where the majority of this game has gone wrong for him, but he's had a rough one nonetheless, and here will be a chance for him to step up a little.
Yeah, going to be tested alongside Yuri. Shadow might have been spotted there. Yuri gets himself a 1-for-1. Fallen is in a bit of trouble here, and he needs some backup, which if he doesn't arrive in time, Fallen gets the job done alone. Molodoi will finish off Heavy God, and FURIA stabilize for a round.
Yeah, another round where they concede the opening kill and immediately turn it back on its head. It's what we saw a lot of in the first half. Molbs really feeling his oats there. Try walk into bathrooms after finding that opening kill. Punished heavily. 4 more for FURIA to try to push us into an OT on Overpass that they were able to win last time around, 16-14. What's the scoreline on this map? Last time these two teams played. From Heavy God. Denied by Molodoi. Head taken clean off by the off. Yakinda on the off angle. Oh. Let's lose with the garden hose.
Is that last round the straw that breaks the camel's back for G2? They were looking like they were going to close this map out, and all of a sudden we're back to the Train FURIA that we had seen, where they seem to be getting away with quite a lot. A nice 2K spray down from Yakinda. Heavy God charging his way into the B bomb site unaided. This round has gone pear-shaped for G2, and they're relying on Matisse and Hunter to try and save the day. It's not going to happen. The gap closes from 5 to 3 in the blink of an eye.
These are starting to look like some of those rounds on Train.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Dominant rounds in reply. More timeouts in the back pocket here for G2 to come up with an answer. They just need that one clean T gun round. But look, to harken back to something else you were saying, again, it feels like now that FURIA has control of their economy. These rounds have not looked as close. True. Very, very clean in the mid to late round now that they've got the ore part, they've got the guns and the util.
Yeah, shoes on the other foot as well for G2. They are starting to run out of money.
Yeah,
2.4k loss bonus.
Good time for a timeout. They want to avoid the reset. Just get it done here.
Yeah, reset. probably have to take that save and fight for the 12/12/13/11.
Okay, Serato and Yuri. A duo that you would not want to be attacking into if they're holding the site together.
Yeah, this is by no means over. It definitely feels like FURIA have found a second win in the last couple of rounds. We'll see if G2 can find some kind of purchase in this round.
Heavy God's been the man to many times take the openers here for G2 once again. It'll be pace from him, followed up by Hunter. Short B secured. Molotov gives cause for concern here for G2, but there isn't a follow-up for FURIA off the back of it.
Action slows down. Neither team wanting to make the mistake at this point in the game.
Smokes exchanged, one to back monster, front bathrooms for G2. They look to start to make some moves over towards this A side of the map. Yakinda making them look a little foolish on the off angles in just the round previous. Movements towards monster.
Fallen waiting for it. Malb's not going to clear it. He'll go down early on in the piece. There's a flash to try to unsettle Fallen, but he's got the backup of the smoke coming through there from Serato, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, Yakinda could be the next snag that they slip up on. Feeling confident enough to hang around here. Molodoy on the dumpster as well to follow up.
Could be another double kill for Yakinda. See if he can line up a couple. Just concerned about the exit to bathrooms, but Matisse and Heavy God to take the peak, and Yakinda will win that fight. He does get traded back down, back into the 4-on-3. Now rotation scrambling, of course, from FURIA, as Molodoy will try and ensure that he holds on to this bomb site. Good connections coming through from Molodoy, and it's down to just some Pius with 15 seconds left. That bomb is not going to be planted. It is another round for FURIA. They get to 10. They don't get that full reset that they want because Pius is going to take an AK into the next round, but it's looking like FURIA are keen on making this happen.
So it's good disruption from Yakinda. He's essentially the alarm system for FURIA that lets them know that that A side is going to be under pressure. Fortunately, that's where Molodoy thrives. Rare loss in an opener there from Molbs, courtesy of a cheeky off angle from Fallen. I mean, with the game that he's been having, those are the kind of dubs that you want to be taking. Don't even get into an aim duel. Let's just play a clever position and get our ones. Pistols out now for G2. Hero rifle saved over from the previous from Sun Pius, which means that the AWP fund is not looking good at this point. Little Timmy's not going to college.
No, that's for sure. Hunter with the deagle, hunting for an opening on short there. Will just be pushed away by the Molotov. Pius has walked his way out the monster tunnel. This could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, actually, for FURIA. Serato needs to come up big. Wayward spray, but he gets it done, and a spam through the smoke might just save the day. It's an awkward round. The hold, very, very messy, but it looks like it might just be enough. That was a scary moment for FURIA. But Heavy God going down. It's 11 now for FURIA, and they hang on again.
It's just recovery, and again, it's the backbone of FURIA. Yuri and Serato combining for the majority, and Molodoy, whether he's in heaven or over on dumpster, playing the rotation game and being the turret that sets up once G2 tries to breach the site. Had multiple opportunities there. G2, the full gun round that they have been waiting for. As mentioned before, no AWP going to be on offer, down to a couple of Galils.
Oh, remember the last time they played this map, it was a 16-14 win for FURIA.
Yep.
History repeats itself, as it said.
Well, I did have a dry walk from Molbs on the front side of bathrooms there before. Molodoy was set up for it, and that's exactly what was going to happen for a moment. But G2 dotting their I's, crossing their T's. It'll be a smoke to front side of bathrooms first. Molly over onto Divider. Instead, it's this long setup that we will see. And after those couple pieces of util, you'd be expecting a flash over long. But you'll see FURIA will hear multiple flashes through the middle of the map with some utility into connector. Does that prompt Yakinda to get active on the push here?
I would think it would have to at some point soon. But in fact, they're actually just going to decide to back off. See if he decides to tuck into bathrooms and have a look down connector.
I mean, Yuri's rotated over here, has got a molly in the back pocket, as does Fallen. They've really got some stopping power on this B side as they shift towards a monster hold.
Util's coming over the top. The game is up. It is going to be a B here. FURIA now aware of that. Shots through are nice. Quesarado and Fallen claiming a kill. And again, G2 stopped short of that B bomb site. Yuri hasn't even had to come into play just yet. He'll get a little tickle on the back of Hunter. And that'll be finished off by Fallen. And it looks like FURIA have gone the distance. They have worked hard. And they might have to keep working hard because Sampaius with the two-man spray down there gets himself a small chance. Can he make something happen here? Kinder inside of that smoke. Very, very healthy. Tap on the plan here. Sampaius will bring it down to the 1v1. Yakinda is looking to take the fight and he will secure it. FURIA take us all the way to overtime.
Sampaius makes them work for that. But those key Molotovs on Fallen and Yuri just hold that B push in its tracks. Look at these Ts on fire as they try to force their way into the B site. It was so telegraphed right from the get-go. You had the long setup from FURIA, heard all of that utility over the top of connector. They knew that the B pivot was a possibility, and they break that down so easily with just well-timed utility. FURIA win 5 in a row to push us through into another OT on Overpass between these two teams. And you gotta say, G2 will be thinking about how that last OT went on Overpass.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact they've lost a bunch around that, though, is something special from Sampaius.
That's where you start bringing out the tricks. Didn't do this in regulation.
No, maybe should have.
Look, an opening kill is not something that G2 have had a tough time coming by.
That's true. That's what I was going to say. I mean, how many opening kills has G2 had and not been able to convert on?
No. Cheeky boost. Oh my god. In midair, Quesarado takes a chunk out of Heavy God on short. He's getting harassed. I mean, that is the short lurker's job on this map, is to just absorb utility, have players closing in all around you in the mid round. If you can deliver, if you can punish that aggression, you'll win the round outright. And if not, you might have to turn your attention towards other avenues. Molodoi only 1-for-1 is not good enough to stop G2 getting into the site here, but Yuri also looking to punish them on the cross.
Low HP players, easy cleanup for Yuri. And now it's just onto Sampaius again to try to clutch it out this time. He's got the AWP in hand. No scope onto Quesarado. Makes it feel doable. That smoke providing him enough cover. Here's those footsteps. Fakes the plan, and that has given a bit of space for both Yuri and Fallen. And now he is being spammed through dice. 13-12.
Gotta be frustrating. I mean, Sampaius has had a great game. At the end of regulation, he gave them a bit of a heart attack, and I was wondering if he was on to right that wrong. Not getting the game across the line at the end of things. Trying to win that one on 2 to put G2 off on the right foot. That was really where that round turned. Once again, Yuri delivering in a site anchoring position. The 2 kills that were needed to secure things for FURIA after conceding the man advantage for what feels like the millionth time. I mean, that's how the game started. And if you look at Mulbs, the openers are palpable, but FURIA has kind of recovered stuff from there.
It's 15-9 in terms of opening duels in regulation, favoring G2.
Which, when you look at the fact that Mal's is 9-2, I think a little bit more even for the majority of the rest of the exchanges. It's really only Malbs that is dominating these openers.
Yeah, but even then, like, you should be closing 70 to 80% of the rounds where you get the opening pick.
That's not anything numbers. Like that.
No, it's not. Exactly. And that's why it went 12-12 instead of, you know, something like 13-8 or something, whatever, you know.
A lot of that has been courtesy of this man, Quesarado, on the boost, tickled by the grenade, and Heavy God follows up well.
It's another opener, but will it make the difference? Yakinda responds straight away, and Molodoi does as well. Shotgun AWP style, gets the better of Mattis at the top of connector.
It's Groundhog Day again. Opening kill, a quick 2 in reply from FURIA.
So what is that? That's now 17-9 in terms of opening frags throughout this map, going the way of G2. Heavy God's very, very low, of course. But again, it just seems like FURIA have this a little bit of a stronger mid-round. Great potential to pull this one back and get a 14-12 and really continue to put that pressure in onto G2, who I think are going to crack. I think this is already starting to get too far gone.
Yeah. Everything points towards it. The win-loss record, just the way that these rounds have been going. We've seen great tenacity for G2, but honestly, we've seen greater resilience from FURIA. Hunting for a big title here after a couple of wins this year. This is the kind of resilience that could make them a champion in a tournament like this, even just early on in this group stage. This is the kind of grind that you want to see. Yakinda, isolated by the Molotov, will be a non-factor going forward here. Molodoi next to deliver, whiffing the shot. The flash unsettling him, and now he's scrambling on Truck. Hunted down by Hunter. G2 will secure the plant.
Yeah, it gets a little bit awkward for him there. Yuri will have a second chance at life here with Heavy God having missed that shot, but it doesn't necessarily help out too much because Heavy God has just pushed deeper into the bathrooms and ultimately will be able to get in behind Yuri here. He's just not expecting it, or he's foregoing that possibility. He doesn't really have the time to be worrying about it at this stage. Fallen is the one that needs to get some work done, and he does find that opener onto Hunter. Now gets the info as to where some bias is as well, and he knows that Heavy God is somewhere behind him, but time is running away from Fallen. And 13-13 secured by G2. They bounce back.
And evening up the scoreline. Some Pius has had a phenomenal game. Heavy God again delivering on that short B aggression. Seems to be pretty good at finding some value on over there. The Molly isolating Yakinda, and I think really just the fact that Molodoi doesn't have a chance to connect there. Far too much pressure on him. The flash throws off his first shot, and Hunter's able to get far too close after that.
Board position again here from Yakinda. Wants to take that early fight, but has just been pushed away.
Smoke to front bathrooms. Heavy God has once again made his way into the sloshy waters of short B.
Quesarado's expecting him.
He knows how to get down and dirty. We've already seen it this game. It's a slow pacing for G2. Here's a little bit of utility pressure over towards that B side of the map. Progression smoke outside of Monster. FURIA replying with a molly.
Flash in the face of Matisse is not going to slow his progression. He's way too close for comfort. Molodoi not going to be aware of it, but survives. Just falls off the line at the right time. He's under a fair bit of pressure. That Molotov preventing his exit into bank. He'll change his position back up over towards Truck.
Yeah, how much do you panic here as FURIA? That short B kill is so key. It's been back and forth between Heavy God and Quesarado, but this is a round where you needed to deliver. FURIA under pressure on this A site. Is subverted a little bit by Molodoi punishing Mattis, but this is not where this round will end for G2. They are going to finish things over towards the B site. Fallen is over there. Yuri was thinking about an A site rotation, but he's going to stick around in water.
Fallen might get caught in transition here. Looks like he'll just get the time to walk back deeper into the site. Spots out the shoulder there as well. And now has to fall back down into pit with Yuri. Both of them are dealt with. It's not a strong side hold at all from FURIA.
Beautiful.
Down on the rotate, 14-13. G2 give themselves a second chance here with the 2-1 scoreline in the first half of OT.
Yeah, some Pius are so switched on there. Posted up in towards heaven. You've seen Molodoi come in from those rotations. He's always been in heaven or over towards Truck or Dumpster. They know his routines. And that's where you, on the offensive side, know how to punish a player coming in on the rotation from heaven while the rest of the entries fold the site. It's like reprieve from G2 after what was an opportunity that felt like it was being thrown away in regulation.
A bit of hard work going to be required now for FURIA on this T side if they want to make this map their own.
Again, Mulb's being given immense amount of responsibility. He very much is all on his lonesome on this A side of the map, but this time he's not going to really be aggressing too much. Maybe on long A in the mid round is where you might see him get a little bit active, and indeed he will have the opportunity to do so because FURIA are making some moves over here.
I mean, this is where it got awkward for FURIA quite a number of times in regulation. Was the push up long?
Some Pius is bringing some flashes over to Truck, so that could definitely activate Mulbs here.
He's in the position to make something happen. No flashes getting tossed for him just yet, but he's hearing footsteps, so if they're going to happen, they'll happen now. It looks like it's just going to be the two-pronged defense. And again, you know, it's the same boost for FURIA. Like, G2 have seen this. They're ready for it. Shots are going to be whiffed on both sides. Yakinda goes again. And here's a flash that will completely catch Malbs, but it is a player anti-flash, Matisse, that will make the difference. And again, favorable enough trades for G2. Molodoi just gets out of there with his life. In the end, it's 2-on-2.
How is that only a 2-for-2? Sun Pius, you've seen him dancing around this A site many times already. 25 seconds on the clock, and he needs to deliver here.
Well, it's a slow walk up long. Sun Pius backing off to a little bit safer of a position. Getting the info, this util is kind of giving away the game, and FURIA just walk into his line, but Sun Pius misses the crucial shot. Heavy God ineffective from this position as well. They're covered by Dice. The bomb plan is now down. They can walk their way into bank.
HE on Molodoi could finish off Sun Pius here, who gives it a little bit of a bouncer off the wall. Heavy God creeping up short.
Yeah, this is where it really comes together. Heavy God. And his timing will be crucial. It is being watched for the moment by Yuri, but he's got to choose the right side of Dice to keep an eye on, and Molodoi hits the shot onto Sun Pius. Now they're aware of Heavy God, and FURIA, by the skin of their teeth, get through that round.
It's the second time that Molvs has been caught full white by that same flash from his teammate. I honestly love the setup from G2. Before they even went for this bait setup towards Garden, you had multiple flashes over Divider that made FURIA consider the fact that maybe that was a setup over towards short A instead of over towards long there. Instead, it was Sun Pius posted over there and a bait setup on the Garden bed. If Molvs had not got full blind there, he would have definitely mopped up. As things stand, the round gets messy enough for FURIA to find a way to win it, which just makes it feel like another missed opportunity for G2.
How many of those has there been in this map? Certainly no shortage of them. And G2 are going to be kicking themselves if they do end up losing it, that's for sure.
Well, FURIA did win this 16-14 last time around. 2 in a row needed to secure that same scoreline. Molodoi feeling a little too bold. Can't go toe-to-toe with Heavy God. Serato, though, it's the same story again. You lose the opener, and this man will bring you at least one back.
Dude, he gets 2 back through the smoke. That is quite fortunate for FURIA.
He's got nothing to work with there, just game sense, intuition.
Yeah. A little bit of luck, obviously, as well. See what Malbs can do. And he does get Yakinda. Malbs has just been so good over here on long.
Sun Pius feeling like he needs to activate again in the mid-round as a result. Finds a nice timing, but it's another shot missed.
Malbs down. Round is slipping away from G2 once again, despite a good start.
Could be another 16-14 on the cards here. Back down connector, though. Will be a chance for Hunter to step up. Has a Molotov in the back pocket here, but drops it early. 18 seconds. Where does he choose to play?
Smoke's going to go in for Heaven. And Hunter just going to take the fight on the off angle. He'll be spotted out by Fallen. That's routine. And it looks like it'll be a 15th. Once again, we might be seeing another 16-14 go the way of FURIA on this map. Sun Pius will hang around, but not for too long. He wants that AWP in the next round.
You've seen the same reaction from him. He's been in a lot of these XVXs in the late round and just been in an untenable position. It's just got to get frustrating at some point, especially when you're almost on for the 30 bomb this game. He very much has been delivering, but he just continually gets put in these situations that he can't convert.
Yep.
No one could.
Looking for the 30 bomb in CSGO regulation. Would be, by all accounts, a very good map from Sun Pius, but
there you go.
Maybe it'll be all for naught.
That's the saddest way to secure it. Exit on Fallen, which has no impact on the game at all. Plenty of money in OT here for FURIA.
Double AWP for FURIA?
Double up on the T side, series regulation.
That's big nuts gameplay, mate.
Oh. It's just...
I mean, look, they get a little bit of fortune in that round, frankly, FURIA.
I mean, if you watch back the VOD here as G2, and you know, you might hyperfixate on that being the way. Oh, there we go. Wow. Look, we saw that from Heavy God. We're giving Kindar a little bit of a handicap this time around.
It's just so unnecessary, isn't it?
Why not? Give him a little bit of a kick up the arse. Ah, decod to Yuri as well. FURIA, by their own hands and by G2's, getting battered and bruised as they make their way through the map. Sun Pius changing up the angle of approach. Inside connector here. Beautiful shot connected, but punish on the exit.
Oh, Molodoi, what a shot onto Matisse as well. It just, every time G2 gets the opening kill, there's one or even more likely two in response from FURIA somewhere else on the map.
They're very disjointed and spread out at the moment for FURIA, which may present opportunities for G2 to take advantage of, but they're just really not in any aggressive positions to speak of. And even if they were, you can see FURIA's stance right now. They're just waiting for G2 to give them the game here.
20-9, the opening kills right now for G2.
And they're going to lose more than double.
Yep.
Potentially. Smoke flying out onto the A site. Another one will join at Molbs. Does he choose to stand and deliver? He will. Going to try to win this one here and push us through into another OT.
Molly fizzles, but it doesn't matter. Fallen connects the shot onto Malves. This double AWP setup is working out. There's 16 seconds left for FURIA to get that bomb plant down, but they are not under any time pressure at all. Fallen is putting on a masterclass with the AWP, and FURIA have put on a masterclass in a recovery situation. Overpass once again will go their way 16-14, just like their last matchup against G2, and just like their last matchup against G2, it's going to be that 2-0. There is still no third mapper required between these two teams.
Got it done in 2.